Hey, y'all come right on in. Good morning, because by the time by the time this starts playing, it will probably be like 9:05 because I'm releasing this at 9 o'clock. So good morning. And right now it is Tuesday. What's this? May 23rd at 7:23. I'm recording this video. The reason why I like recording is because if I mess up, because it's actually my second time, because the first time I messed up, if I mess up, I get to go back and edit it and re-record it and fix some things. So y'all come on in, come on in. Please give me a like, a share, and a comment. Let someone know that you are watching. You can always support me. One way you can support is just by simply give me a like, a share, and a comment. As you all know, my name is Ken Zarrett, but everybody calls me Ken. I am the creator of the Other Side Podcast. So as you come on in, give me a good like, give me a good share, and a good comment. So that way I know that you're watching and I know who I can expect to have a conversation with. And through this whole journey of the other side, surprisingly, there's been what was it? Surprisingly, there's been more support than backlash. So for those of you that have came up to me, that your story is inspiring, that is inspiring me and encouraged me to tell truth to my children or my grandkids, or what's going on with their dad, or just try and get a better relationship with my family. For those of you that came and supported, I say thank you because it means a lot. Because a lot of times when you do something like this, especially in our community, it gets frowned upon. People take it the wrong way, get in their feelings and say, "Why you putting our business out there in the street like that?" But I believe that because we are in 2023, we need to tell the truth. We need to share our story and let other people know what's going on and know what's going on. I am a firm believer in the scripture that says that they overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony. You never know what someone is going through, so what someone is facing. And just by how you simply sharing your story, sharing your testimony will encourage them and, help them to overcome whatever obstacle or test or situation they're going through. And I think one thing that's lacking in the church, the black church, is we don't testify. We don't tell how God. We don't. I remember growing up, baby. We couldn't. I used to love going to church because back in the day. Okay, back in the day, they didn't have praise teams. Praise team is it's not new because it's in the Bible, but they had testimony service. I grew up coaching. Church of God in Christ. I know that's from my church. Be like, you grew up culture. Yes, I did. How you gonna tell me what I grew up with? I knew what I went to, what church I went to when I was living with my great grandma. Went to East Side Church of God in Christ. I went with her every Sunday. Sister Franklin used to pick us up for church every Sunday. Every time we had church, we wore church, Sister Franklin. And we went right over there to good old East Side Church of God in Christ. And just to let you know how far back I remember, I believe her name was Mother Harris. The church was right here. Mother Harris' house was right here. And she saw everything. She saw everything. Pastor used to be Superintendent Peterson. We love Superintendent Peterson and First Lady Peterson. I, I, those were the days. Those were the days. And East Side Scott and Christ. And getting up, I remember waking up early to get there. My great grandmother would go to the church and set the church up, and she would go in there, pass a study, get his orange juice and things set up for him, warm church up. I remember doing all that at East Side Church of God in Christ. So at East Side Church of God in Christ, I remember growing up. We had a choir. We didn't have a praise team. And when it was praise team, the praise team back then was testimony service. And you had one, two people that get up to lead testimony service. They were sing them good old, what we call them nowadays, Negro spirituals. They would get to sing them good old Negro spirituals, you know. Can't nobody do me like Jesus, or do Lord remember me. And the people would actually testify. And I think one thing that's lacking in testimony, so they would testify. There was an old song I remember my great grandma sing. Oh God, it was like, I believe I'll testify while I have this chance, because I may not have this chance anymore. So I remember going to have testimony service. So in those testimony services, you will see a lot of people be inspired and encouraged to overcome, and it gave them hope. And I believe that that's one thing we have got to start doing in the world, or for us deep church folk, in the secular world. They don't call it testifying. It's called telling the truth, telling their truth, telling your truth. I call it testimony service. You testifying of what some things what you've gone through and how you made it, how you overcome. So the point of me doing this is tell people that a lot of people. I remember one person came up to me and said, "You have a successful life. I mean, you're 29, about to be 30. What you want to know him for? You don't really need to know him." But I really wanted to. But and then another thing that came to me was like one thing I did not know that. I thought you knew, because you don't act like someone that don't know. Because most people that grew up with the stereotype in the Black community is if you grow up without your father, or you grow up without your mother, you end up out there in the streets. You end up out there selling, you end up dead. You don't end up being, it's not that many people that grow up with a missing parent that in the Black community that's successful, just not heard of. But there are a lot of us who grew up in a single parents home, whether they were a single parent by force or by choice, that are successful, that's living a good life. That did not fall victim to the circumstances that they grew up in. So the reason why I did this is because I wanted to share my story and encourage someone else that, you may not know who your father is. You may not know who your mother is. You may have been adopted. You may not know anything, but you cannot allow that to stunt your growth and make you feel like you can't be whoever you want to be, because you can. So I'm going to backtrack all the way back and give y'all a quick recap and bring you all up to date on what I have found out thus far. So again, as you tune in, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Whether you're watching me at work, you watching me in your car, you watching me in your living room, you watching me on your bed, because I see you. Oh, I see you. I see you watching. Because you'll come up to me and tell me what I was talking about when you see me the next time you see me. It don't fail. You may not like, share, or comment, but you're going to come up to me and tell me what you thought. Oh, I watched your video and it was good. So thank you for watching. Because listen, this goes for people that wants to get into this social media thing, because I have been blessed to be connected to people that actually do this. It does not matter if they like, if they share, or if they comment. The money comes from the views. Did you hear that from me? The money comes from the views. The like, the shares, and the comments fixes the algorithm to get shown and broadcast to other people. But the money don't come from the share, it don't come from the like, it don't come from the comments. It comes from the views. Whether you watch it for 1 second, 2 seconds, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, every view is what brings in the money. So thank you for viewing it. You may not like, share, or comment, but at least you viewed it. Thank you for putting some money in my pocket. Shut-a-da-bo-shot. Kandidio-shot. My God, he coming in the room. I feel him coming. He coming on in. So I started this podcast because I wanted to involve you all in the journey of me trying to find who my father is, the other side of my family, and all that good stuff. I want to involve you in that and bring you all along with me, as a way of therapy, kind of, to help you work through this. And the reason I decided to do that is because um, this is how I know Facebook, Instagram, and all this other stuff, they be listening to your conversations. Your phone can be on the desk, closed and locked, but they still listening. Because I was talking to people at my job, I'm like, I think I want to do the ancestry DNA, see if I can find out some things about my father, because I don't know who he is. So I remember like a couple of days later, I went on YouTube. And when I went on YouTube, I was watching a YouTube video. One video that popped up as a suggestion was someone who shared their success story of finding their father and finding their father through ancestry DNA. And I was like, boy, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all these Google, they be listening to your conversation. So I clicked on it and I watched the video and I was like, I wonder if this will happen for me. So the reason why, again, bring up speed, let you know what's going on, why I'm doing what I'm doing. So the reason why I decided to do this is because when I went to my mom's retirement party and I saw my brothers and sisters up there with their brothers and sisters, it hit me and I was like, I wonder if I have any brothers or sisters out here. I mean, if my daddy was out here swinging it and doing whatever at 15, 16, I'm pretty sure I got some other siblings out here. So I was like, I didn't know how to do it. So then I went to my job, I talked to people, and they were like, you do ancestry? And I said, I'll try that. And then, like I said a few minutes ago, about how I went on YouTube and there was a video saying, hey, watch this. It's South my father on father through ancestry. So I decided to do it. So it was on like either the 19th or 20th. I went ahead and I ordered me a ancestry DNA kit. And when I ordered the Ancestry DNA kit, it came in the mail like a couple of days later. It didn't take them long for them to mail it out. So I took the test. I went in there, I put my saliva in the little tube that they give us. And then I went ahead and mailed it back in, got an email. They received it and all that good stuff. And I went ahead and I was just waiting on my results. So according to the first test I took, it said that my results were going to be ready on like the 19th or 20th of January. And I was like, okay, cool. It's going to be interesting. I'm getting ready to find out who my father is, or at least find out, some relatives from his side of the family. So I went ahead to the test. And I was like, great, we find it. So it was the Monday before I was supposed to get my results. And I got an email from Ancestry, and I got an email, it was on a Sunday night, and an email, it said that I was getting a refund from Ancestry. And I was like, well, what am I getting a refund for? This don't make sense. I'm still expecting to get my results. I didn't ask for a refund, so what am I getting a refund for? So I went ahead and I called Ancestry and told me what had happened, that one of their representatives went to my account and deleted my account, deleted my sample. And because it deleted my account, deleted my sample, I couldn't get my results. I would have to do another test. I was livid, mad, and upset, but I decided, okay, I'll take the test again. I will send in another sample. So I got the test a couple of days later. I went ahead and mailed it right back on in. So this time I was supposed to get my results on March the 22nd. So on March the 22nd, I went ahead and I was supposed to get my results. So the week before I got my results, I got another email from Ancestry DNA. And when I got this email from Ancestry DNA, it said that we ran into a snag and we need you to send in another sample. So I was like, I know good in time, Will, that I am not about to have to send in another sample. First, your representative went in there and deleted my sample. Now you're saying that there's an issue with my sample. What in the world? So I went ahead and I said, okay, I'll do it one more time. It took the third test. This time I was supposed to get my results on the 22nd of March. All right, but this time I really didn't have any. But this time I was like, whatever happens, happens. If I get my results, I do. If I don't, I don't. So I went ahead and I did a sample, and I was expecting to get an email saying we ran into a snag, like I did the last time. Oh, we ran into a snag. You do another sample. This time I didn't get that. It was the Friday before I got my sample. It was the Friday before I put my sample on 22nd. I got an email saying they ran into another snag and we need you to do another sample. And I'll be honest with you, I was over it. I was mad, livid, and upset, and I was done. I said, I'm not doing another sample. I don't trust AncestryDNA.com. They probably just trying to clone me or put my DNA at a crime scene somewhere to set me up to be in jail for the rest of my life. So I was done with AncestryDNA.com. I said, I ain't doing no more tests, and that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb. So I called, I said, listen, what's going on? I want to know exactly why y'all keep saying my test does not go through. So they said, we can't tell you, but give us another chance. I said, give us another chance, and we will do everything we can and make sure you get your results. And I was like, I don't care about none of that. I'm not doing another test at all. So whenever they send you whenever they ask you to do another sample, they're going to send you an email. And in that email, it's going to give you the option to either accept the test or decline the test. And because I was over it and I'm like, I'm not doing a test for the fourth time. Because you couldn't do it the first 3 times, I doubt you're going to be able to do it a fourth time. So I'm done. Don't worry about it. So I went in that email, declined it. The next day, I got a call from an Ancestry DNA customer service representative. And this person was good at de-escalating. Because I looked at my phone and I said, what the world are they calling me for? They calling me for? They got my sample. So put the phone, talk to them, and I was mad. I got mad all over again. I was like, no, I ain't doing y'all test. I ain't doing y'all sample. I ain't doing none of that because y'all can't get it right. And y'all not about to have me on some crime scene somewhere, sprinkling my DNA on somebody's crime scene, stuff like that. So the representative was like, ooh, he was good at de-escalating, and he was good. He know how to convince you to do what he wants you to do because he got me. He got me. He got me. So I said, no, I'm not doing another sample. I don't want it. So he said, Ms. Milton, give us one more chance. And I said, well, what guarantee that I have that's going to work this time? He said, Mr. Milton, I guarantee that we're going to do everything we can to get you the results for your DNA test. We're going to do everything that we can to give you those results you're looking for. And in good faith, we're going to send you 2 kits that you give away to someone. And we're also going to give you a gift card. A Visa gift card. I'm like, huh? Say it again. He said, a Visa gift card to try and compensate for for your inconvenience and try and make this right. Just give us one more chance, Milton. And just like any Black person, when you start talking about money, you get us. You mention something about some money and some free money, we ain't got to do nothing for you. Just going to send it to us anyway. You got us. So he had me. He got me when he sent me that gift card. Sent me that gift card and a sample. So I said, okay, I'll try it one more time. And y'all know in the last video I did with you all, I was like, I'm done with Ancestry DNA. I said that as for me, it didn't work. For other people, it has worked, but my experience with Ancestry DNA is that they are scam. That's what I said in my last video. And here I am as a fool getting ready to be scammed again. So I thought. So he went ahead and sent me 3 kits. He sent me the kit that I was going to use to redo my sample, and then he sent me these 2 kits that I can give away to someone. So if you're watching my video and you would like to start your own ancestry DNA journey, let me know. And since I do have these 2 free kits that I can give away to anyone, I will gladly mail them to you or give them to you whenever I see you or whatever. But if you want to try your own, try your luck with Ancestry DNA to see how it works out for you, just let me know, because I do have these 2 kits and I will gladly give them to you when you see me. But I only have 2. And all you got to do, you had nothing to lose. You ain't got to spend no money or nothing like that. All you got to do is just go ahead, follow the instructions, and they are still wrapped in the plastic wrap. All you have to do is just follow the instructions on the kit that it gives you and mail it back in. And then you can always have that free, there's a free subscription to Ancestry, or you can pay like I did to be subscribed. But because I did pay and they kept messing up, I got 2 years free and some stuff from Ancestry, and I had top of the line because they wanted to compensate me for how they had got my hopes up and thus crushed my hopes. So again, if you would like to try your own look at this Ancestry DNA, just hit me up in the comments or inbox me, text me, or call me and let me know. And I will gladly mail these to you or give it to you when I see you. Or if you would like to try your own Ancestry DNA test. Try to find your own family or just try to find out where you come from. So I went ahead and I did a test. And this time I didn't have any expectations because my expectations was low. And you all know that last time I did this, I was just done. I was done. I was like, I felt like the Lord ain't trying to help me. My mama ain't trying to help me. My daddy would try to help, but he can't because he don't know anything about me. Give me a second, y'all. I gotta go real quick. I'm talking on mute. All right, so I'm back. Lord have mercy, so I'm back. I need to take a break for real quick because I was so I went ahead and did the test, and this time I didn't have any expectations. This time I just did the test and I mailed it on in. I didn't even activate it because I was like, what's the point? So about like a week ago, I went ahead to Ancestry and I activated my kit. And when you activate your kit, that allows you to get real-time updates on what step of the process you're on when they receive it, when they begin to try and extract it, when they have pulled your DNA, when they're analyzing it, and when they actually get your results in. So I was supposed to get my results on the 22nd, which was yesterday. May 22nd, I was supposed to get my results. Today is May 23rd at 7:47, and I'm recording this video. So I'm supposed to get my results on May 22nd. And I really have any hopes or anything because I was like, I don't think it's going to work. It hasn't worked so far. So I have nothing to lose. and they gave me a gift card. They refunded me and they gave me a free subscription, but I don't care because now I'm doing 23andMe, and I'm going to see what happens with 23andMe. So last week was my sister's graduation. It was really good. I went down there for my sister's graduation, but I have to be honest, last week was a real rough week for me when it comes to the other side, trying to find the other side, because I was getting frustrated, mad, and upset because I want to find answers. And when I put my mind to something and I'm doing something, I don't move slow. I move quick. Don't ask me to do anything and you want me to take my time. I'm gonna move, get it over, and done with quickly. And when you are getting help from other people, you have to learn that everybody doesn't move at the same speed that you move in. They're not as interested as you are. And it ain't their responsibility to try and help you, even though they said it's going to help you. So there was this lady, my mom said was going to reach out to me. And I found myself getting mad and upset at her because I was like, she didn't reach out to me. And I'm reaching out to her. I'm not getting a response or anything. So I got mad at her because I was like, you're not reaching out. I got to reach out to my mom for you to reach out to me. Then I'm inboxing you, asking you questions, as if you got any answers, and you are not even responding. And then it hit me. Why am I mad at her? It ain't her responsibility to help you find your daddy. If she says she will, that's great. But she ain't the one that 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 came together and had sex with your daddy and brought you here. It ain't her responsibility. It's your mother's responsibility to help you find who your daddy is. Because she's the one that had sex with this man and brought you into this world. So don't get mad at her. So last week, it was just a real rough week. And I was really getting to the point where I was like, forget it. I'm over this. I don't care no more. I've tried. I feel like I can't get no help. I felt nobody care. I'm just done. I was over it. But then there's a lady at my job that came up to me. She did it, and she's been following me through YouTube, and she said, "Ken, don't give up. Keep on going. You're going to find something. I feel real good that you're going to find something." So that inspired me to keep on going and to try and not give up. Because last week I was about to give up and say, "To hell with all this. I don't know them now. Maybe it's a good thing I don't know." So I was done with it. So last week was my sister's graduation. So I went on down there to my sister's graduation. I got off work Friday at 1. Actually, I went in at 9 and was off work at 9:05. I was there, but I wasn't there. Just like a color. You go to work and you ain't there. You clock out before you time to clock out. So I told my boss, I said, listen, I'm leaving. My sister's graduating on Friday and I'll be in Hinesville all weekend. They said, okay, great. So as I'm driving to Hinesville, I get an email from Ancestry. And I'm like, I'm not even going to read this email because I know what's going to happen. I'm going to read this email and I'm going to be pissed for the rest of the weekend. And everybody is going to know it. So I got down there to Hinesville. When I got to Hinesville, I stopped at Bojangles, got me something to eat because I was hungry. Went to my mom's house. When I got to my mom's house, my mama, Uncle Dwight, and my Aunt Trina was outside in the backyard putting up a tent. And I was looking through them at the kitchen because I was standing at the aisle in the kitchen getting ready to eat. And I was like, man, they out there struggling. So I said, I'm going out there and help them put this tent up because they was out there. I should have recorded it. They was out there struggling, trying to put that tent up. So I went there and helped them put the tent up. And I was like, I know. In the back of my head, I was like, oh, you should read that email, see what that email say. It may have, may be some good news. I was like, no, I'm not going to read that email because I know it's not going to be good news. It's going to be the same thing. We ran into a snag and we need you to send in another sample. So I was like, forget it. I'm not doing it. So after we put the tent up and I had to go run an errand for mom again, I went ahead and I got back home after running that errand for my mom. I went ahead to went in the living room, sat down, and I said, I'm gonna open this email, see what the email saying. So I went ahead and I opened up the email to see what it said. And the email said this right here. No, where am I at? Oh, the email said this right here. So in the email, it said, we are crunching your data. You're in the final stretch. We've isolated your DNA, and now we're in the process of analyzing it. So what does that mean? What we are looking for is a collection of DNA markers, specific DNA sequences that show up in certain places in your genetic code using our custom ancestry DNA microarray. We scan your DNA to detect hundreds of thousands of these DNA markers at once. The next update we will send will include your results. So I got that email and I read it, and I was shocked, and I was in disbelief. I was, what's the word? Miss Walton used to say when I was in school, I was flabbergasted because I was like, does this mean that they was able to pull my DNA from my sample this time? And I'm actually about to get a step closer to finding out uh, my father and my relatives on my father's side. This all happened in Hinesville. When I got there, I was driving to Hinesville, I got this email. This all just happened this weekend. Today is Monday. Well, today is Tuesday. This happened Monday, 2, 3 days ago. This happened. So I was just in disbelief because I was like, no, that's not what this means. So because I was in disbelief, I sent a text to one of my friends. In the text, I sent a screenshot of what Ancestry DNA had said. In the screenshot, I said, hey, does this, because she did the Ancestry DNA test herself. So like, does this mean that they was able to pull my DNA from my sample? And does this mean that I'm getting ready to get the results? And she was like, yes. And I was like, yo. So this means that I'm getting ready to be a step closer to finding out who my father is. Like, I really am about to get some answers to some questions about who my father is and where I come from. And even if I don't find him, I will at least be able to find some relatives that of his, hopefully, that's on here. So I got excited, but I was like, anything can happen. I stopped. So later on that night, around 12 o'clock, around midnight, I got another email from Ancestry. And this is what the email said when I decided to take a screenshot of it, because I knew I was going to do another video to bring you all up to date. And it said that it's the moment you've waited for. Your Ancestry DNA results are ready. Now is the time to discover what it is about your DNA that makes you uniquely you. And it says, click here to explore your DNA results. So I went to the Ancestry app on my phone, and it didn't have no updates. So I was like, dog on it. My feelings was up here. When I went to Ancestry and it didn't have no results, my feelings went down here and I got mad. But something said, don't go to the website. So I went to the website, and when I went to the website, I had my results. I finally got my results from Ancestry after all of this time. Out of all my pain and suffering, Out of all this time, I done sent my sample and they in there getting ready to make a clone of me. I finally got my results. So, what I'm getting ready to do is I'm getting ready to share with you all what my results are, where I come from, and what makes me me. Finally, I got my results. So, here we go.
All right, so here we go. So after I got the email and the text, I went ahead into the app, but the app hasn't uploaded, it hasn't updated yet. So I went to the app. I'm not the app, but I went to the website. And when I went to the website, I went and I saw it says DNA tracker. I clicked on that. Once I clicked on that, it took me to this, where my results are ready, surprisingly. So once you go to the website, Ancestry DNA is going to show you your ancestral DNA traits, your DNA story. It's going to let you know your ethnicity estimate, and then it's going to show you your DNA matches, and then it's going to show you your true lines, and then you can start answering questions about your DNA. So, first thing first, let's click on Discover Your DNA Story. All right, so I clicked on Discover My DNA Story, and it gives me a breakdown of where I am from. So it shows Africa and some parts of Europe. All right, so it says come on, show details. Your DNA looks most like DNA from these 9 world regions. So according to Ancestry, I am 28% Cameroon, Kango, and Western Bantu peoples. That's interesting. I am 23% Nigerian. I am 18% Ivory Coast and Ghana. I am 12% Benin and Togo. I am 7% Senegal, 6% Mali, 4% England and Northwestern Europe, 1% Nigeria, East Central, and then I am 1% Sweden and Denmark, which I found was very interesting. I was like, Sweden and Denmark, I can see, England, Northwestern Europe, because, them slave masters had a little jungle fever back in the day. But I was real shocked by Sweden and Denmark. So if you keep on going, after you go back up and you click on it, it gives you a breakdown of where you're from, gives you a picture, and you can read it, and it tells you more about the place. And it also, if you want to, it allows you to click on and compare your DNA to other family members that have matched to see who also had matched with the same area as you. It tells you about the region, and it lets you read a full story and history about the region. Same thing for Nigeria. All right. So then, if you keep on scrolling, it's going to take you to your inheritance, your ethnicity inheritance. Your regions inherited from both parents. So it says your parents each contributed half of your DNA. Now you can see which ethnicities you inherited from each parent, even if they haven't taken the test. So on this side right here, you see my mom's side. And then on this side, you see my dad's side. So on my dad's side, I got what's that 1% one? Nigeria, East Central. I thought that was interesting on both sides. Keep on scrolling down. It lets you see the chromosome painter. I really haven't really dug into that yet. But what I think what it does, what I've been looking at and seeing, it breaks down the chromosomes, and you can see which ones come from your mom, which one come from your dad. Then you can select all, where it shows you both of them combined. So just wait for it to load up real quick. So this is an overview: my mom, maternal, dad, paternal, and then me. It gives a detailed description of both maternal, paternal, and then you. So it gives a breakdown of where, of each region you're from, whose DNA helped determine what part of, however to do that stuff. That's where it came from. So 12% came from a mom for Cameroon, Congo, and Western Bantu people. 16% came from a dad, and them two combined made 28%. Okay. All right. Nigeria, 18% came from a mom. 5% came from a dad. Both of them combined made 23%. Ivory Coast and Ghana, 9% from a mom, 9% from my dad, made 18%. Benin and Togo, 10% came from my mama, so most of that came from her. And then 2% came from my dad, which made 12%. Senegal, ain't no part of Senegal nowhere in my mama's side of the family, according to this. But 7% came from him. Again, there's no part of Mali, a part of my mama and them. 6% came from him. England and Northwestern Europe, I thought would have came from my mama, because my grandma, my aunts, my great grandma, they're real light skinned. But apparently that came from my dad too. Then it says Nigeria, East Central, none of that came from them, from my mom, but it came from my dad, 1%. And then Sweden and Denmark, that's weird. 1% came from my mom's side. So that's a breakdown of that. I remember there was like a little chart that showed you exactly. This is the chart I'm looking at. It breaks down the chromosomes. This is the chromosomes I have, all 22, combined together. Maternal, these are chromosomes I got from my mama. And then these are the chromosomes I got from my father. And both of them make all. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. Go to this DNA. So that's where I come from. Then if you go back to Ancestry, go back to the main part, you click on View DNA Matches. It breaks it down into 4 different categories, which I thought was very interesting. It breaks it down to maternal, father, both, and then unassigned.
All right, so that is the results that I've gotten so far for the part 2. So at this point, because I had already went through everything, I skimmed through it. At this point, because I ain't gonna lie, at first I didn't believe that his name was Timothy Brown. I didn't believe none of that, because I just didn't, because I was like, it's real convenient. Because what when she told me who he was, you know us, we gonna go try and find out. So first place I went was Ancestry DNA, and I was able to find her yearbooks, and there was no one named Timothy Brown in her 93, 94, 95 yearbooks. So I texted her, I was like, well, there's no one in 93, 94, 95 yearbook that's named Timothy Brown. So then she's responded and sent me picture of her 1992 yearbook and said, he's there. There's a man named Timothy Brown, but there is no picture. And this is what the yearbook picture looks like. So you see on the 1, 2, 3, fourth row, and where it has a paw, that's him. There's no picture. So I was doing some research looking at this, and it just add to like maybe she just gave me another name, because how convenient is it that he's not in your yearbook, but you're able to find him in the 1992 yearbook, and all of a sudden he doesn't have a picture. No one knows him. My aunts don't know him. My uncles don't know him. They don't remember nobody with that name or none of that stuff. Uh, so it just looked like he didn't exist. And I was like, his name ain't no Timothy Brown, but I'm getting ready to find out if his name is Timothy Brown. And what made me really say, okay, his name is Timothy Brown, or at least his last name is Brown, is ancestry, because I didn't believe it, because you've been lying to me all these years. First lie you told me was that he knew about me and didn't want anything to do with me. And one thing last week that made it hard, I think what added to me having a rough week last week when it came to this, is because how can you, who have 30 black sons, push the negative stereotype of, a black man, they have kids and don't take care of them. They're deadbeat fathers. And I was believing that because that's what was told to me when I asked. He knew about me, they don't want anything to do with me. So how can you push that narrative when you did not even tell him that I was his child? And the truth finally came out when it was when you realize that I'm actually searching and I'm going to find these answers out myself, whether you help me or not. That the truth finally came out, which I already knew it. Because I was like, if I don't know anything about him, I doubt he knows anything about me. Came out. We talked. She told me she never told him about me. He thought that she was, but she never really came out and said. So he doesn't know I exist. Doesn't even know that he has a whole 30-year-old preaching son, successful black son out here in these United States streets. Don't even know it. So how can you push the narrative of a black man don't take care of their kids when you have black kids, when you knew for a fact that you did not tell him about? So that was a pill I had to swallow, because it was, ooh, how do you respond to that? I couldn't even respond because I was in shock. I was like, I was in shock because I knew it already. And how could you do that? How would you feel like I was put myself in somebody else's shoes? How would you feel to know if one of your children, anybody, how would you feel if one of your children had a child by a woman and the woman did not want the child to know anything about his father, but you knew that he had a child there? That would hurt your feelings. So I can only imagine, when they find out the feelings that they're going to have. Because, like, in my head now, going through it, it's like, is he alive? Is he not alive? If he died early, does this mean, did he die still wondering if he had a son out here? And if he did die early, could his mom and dad be so distraught and just wish that he died without any other kids and they were just living out here like we have no piece of him except for memories, when there is a piece of him out here if he died early? Because you have a whole grandson out here, just everything. This is 2023, and I do watch TV every once in a while. Once in a while. And I ain't gonna lie, this right here is a good Lifetime Hulu. I wouldn't say Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry be playing. Tyler Perry good with Madea. This is a good Lifetime Netflix movie deal. They could make a movie about this because this is a lot. This is really a lot. And then when I'm thinking about it, sometimes we do things not on purpose, but because of what I've learned going to counseling and watching different therapists. One person that I watched that really made me say, Kinzera, go to counseling because you need it, because you're crazy. You're crazy. Was Iyanla Vanzant. And one thing she said is that a lot of times there are things that run in family. In the church, we call it generational curses. And we think of a generational curse as, oh, you curse to be broke, you curse to be lonely, you curse to be that. But some things and behaviors we do aren't generational curses. She calls them generational pathologies, things that are done by previous generations that's just passed on. Because I have an uncle who says that he doesn't know who his father, and he has asked and he hasn't gotten an answer. So because I have an uncle that's experienced that, that generational pathology has passed on to me, because I don't know my dad for the longest until it was till I started doing this. I wasn't getting no answers. I wasn't getting the truth. And now looking at my brothers, they're going through something similar to that. But I believe that we are going to fix this and stop that generational pathology, because in the Black community, it is pushed that the Black man don't want anything to do with their kids. They are deadbeats and they'll have a baby by you, then leave you, take care of the child yourself, when that is not the truth. Truth is, there are some of these women out here you have kids with, there's trifling, there's trifling, and they purposely don't want you to have anything to do with your child when you have a child because of whatever reasons that they have. Whether you were good to them, you're in a relationship with them, or you weren't in a relationship with them, their relationship end, and then you move on to somebody else, they want to take it out on you, your child, as a way to stop you. So those are generational pathologies that's passed on, that happens a lot in the Black household. And because we refuse to talk about it and expose this and really shed light on it, it just keeps happening and happening like it's normal when it is not normal. I shared a post a couple of weeks ago, and I said that anybody that keeps the parent away from their child deserves to go to jail. And I really believe that. If you keep the father away from their child, keep the mother away from their child, you deserve to go in jail, because I feel like that's child abuse. That child has the right, whether you like the mama, you like the daddy or not, to know their parents and know both sides of their family. I don't care what happened. I don't care if you felt like the daddy, you don't like the daddy, or whatever. They deserve to know the truth. So if you're watching this video and you're going through this right now, tell your children the truth, because when your child gets old and they come to that point of understanding and maturity, they're going to resent you, because they're going to be like, why didn't you tell me about my daddy? Why didn't you tell me about this? Why didn't you share this? And then a lot of times in the Black household, I can only speak for the Black household because there's things I've seen. A lot of times when your children get grown and they don't want to come back home, you know exactly why. You know how you raised them. And a lot of times, that's why I tell people, don't get caught up in this Facebook stuff. Because people put on for Facebook, they make it sound like everything's picture perfect, but it's not. Don't get caught up in that. When you have grown kids and they only come around when they have to, when they only come around when something special happens, it is because you as the parent have done something. And a lot of times in our community, I can speak in our community because I have talked to other people about this and I have seen it. We, the parents, feel like you are attacking them when you share with them the experience that they made you have. And I believe what's causing a breakdown, especially in the Black household, is that we don't talk. We don't talk. We keep stuff. When stuff happens, we sweep it up on the rug and keep on going. But I ain't mean to go into a whole rant about this, because I can talk on that all day, because we have got to stop this. There's literally an attack from the enemy against families coming together like this and being one. And it does not help when the family is fighting each other. It don't help. you mad at this person and this person mad, and y'all don't come together. He can divide the family because we simply don't talk. So I would say to anyone that feel something way about how your mommy did you, your